Bombardier Electrostar is the most common fleet of electric multiple unit train in the United Kingdom. Construction of these units took place between 1999 and 2017, with the fleet now consisting of an impressive 2,704 individual coaches across 8 different classes. That distinctive motor sound is one of the many things these trains are known for, although it's certainly nowhere near as bizarre as the sound of the Class 323. Electrostar units run either in 3, 4 or 5 car formations, kind of like the Talent 2s in Germany. Before we get into the rest of the video, I would like to give a nod, as it were, to the other variants of this family, and not just the 3 that are in TSW. As stated previously, there are 8 different classes in the Electrostar family, 7 in the UK and 1 in South Africa. The first version of the Electrostar family was the Class 357, followed by the 375, 376, 377, 378, Hull Train, 379, and 387. At the time of uploading, there are 3 variants of the Electrostar in Train Sim World 2, namely the Southeastern Class 375/9, Southern Class 377, and Gatwick Express Class 387/2, though the 377 was actually the first of the 3 to come to the game. This is the Class 375/9. It comes with the Southeastern High Speed route, which was released in February 2021. Southeastern operates all 112 of the Class 375 units, with 27 of them being 375/9s, built in 2003 and 2004. They are 4-car DC-only units with a bizarre 3x2 seating arrangement. I say bizarre because I'm not used to the 3x2 layout, even though I did see it on the old Commuter EMUs in Melbourne, Australia. Most of the third rail Electrostars have a recession or well in the roof of one of the centre trailer coaches, as seen here. This is a way of future-proofing the units in case they ever need to be converted to run on 25 kV AC overhead wires, just like the CAF-built AM electric units in Auckland. If you look closely, you'll be able to see the third rail pickups on the bogies. Most of the railways in southern England, as well as Merseyside, are electrified on the 750V DC third rail system. The Class 484 EMUs on the Isle of Wight, which are actually former London Underground D78 stock, run on a very similar system, except that one uses 630V instead of 750. The 375s are not equipped for driver-only operation, which is why they don't have external cameras mounted on the outside of each coach, or the big screens in the cab. Now we're going to have a look through the interior of the Class 375/9. Before moving on to the 377, let's have a look at some more 375s arriving at and departing from a station. Sittingbourne Station first opened in 1858 and is now served by Southeastern's high-speed and mainline services. Notably, it's also the starting point for a shuttle service to Sheerness-on-Sea. Annoyingly, DTG did not include the Sheerness branch on this TSW route, and yet they did on the original London to Faversham high-speed route in Train Simulator. And now we move on to the Class 377, more specifically the 377/4 variant. It comes with the East Coastway route, which was first released in December 2019. Southern operates all but 25 of the 239 Class 377s, with 75 of them being 377/4s. These units were built in 2004 and 2005, and they can be found all over the Southern network, except the London Bridge to Uckfield and Brighton to Ashford services. As parts of those routes aren't electrified, Southern uses Class 171 diesel units on the Uckfield and Ashford runs instead. Only 3 variants of the Class 377 are dual voltage, namely the 377/2, /5 and /7. As with 375/9, these 377/4s also have future-proofing in case they need to be converted to run under overhead wires. Unlike the 375s, the 377s are able to run in driver-only operation, which is why they have those big screens to the right of the driver's seat. Those screens are connected to the external cameras, and they allow the driver to see what's going on down the platform and make sure it's safe to close the doors. The 377s all have these gangways at each end, which allows passengers to walk between units if 2 or 3 of them are coupled together. In this instance, though, we only have 1 unit on this service to Brighton. It's interesting seeing that the Class 377 has a partition for the first class area, since the 375 doesn't have one. As you can see, the Southern interiors are distinctly different from Southeastern. I know it's a legal requirement, but I still like seeing these wheelchair accessible areas on public transport. Reminds me of what I've seen on Te Huia's SRC passenger coach. See the video linked to in the top right corner if you don't know what Te Huia is. And now, we'll go out to Polegate Station to watch another 377 arriving and departing on a service from Orr to Brighton. For reference, this East Coastway route in TSW only includes the 23 miles of track between Brighton and Eastbourne, plus the branch line to Seaford. It's also worth mentioning that the 377-4 was re-released in October 2021 as part of the London Commuter route. Incidentally, DTG also added the 377-1 variant, but only the later units with the larger headlights. For reference, units 377101 to 377139 have an older headlight style. This newer version of DTG's 377 also has a new horn sound, which I think is an awful lot better than the East Coastway version. Before moving on to our close-up look at the 387, let's see some 377s and 387s passing Thornton Heath Station. Thornton Heath is the second station north of East Croydon, on the route up towards London, Victoria. It first opened in 1862, and is now served by local southern trains, or, as Jeff Marshall once put it, local suburban metro services. In real life, these are run either by the Class 377s or the older Class 455s, but unfortunately the 455s are not in TSW yet, and here's hoping that DTG or some other third-party developer does make a 455 in the future.
Please note, the doors of trains leaving this station may be closed up to 30 seconds before departure time. Please ensure smoking is not permitted on any part of the station.
And last but not least, we have the Class 387. More specifically, this is the 387-2 variant that is operated by Gatwick Express. This unit made its TSW debut on the London Commuter route. On the subject of Gatwick Express, I've seen one of the original Class 488/British Rail Mark II coaches at Mainline Steam's Plympton Depot here in New Zealand, and that coach was still in its old intercity-esque livery. The Gatwick Express has certainly evolved quite a bit since the days when the Class 73 electro-diesel locomotives were running the show. Since then, the units like the Class 460 and the 442 and now the 387 have all had their shots at running the Gatwick Express. I feel like I'm saying Gatwick Express a lot, but in the words of Mark Cooper Jones, there's nothing we can do about it. There are 27 of these 387-2 units in existence, and they were built in 2015 and 2016 to replace the Class 442 or Wessex Electric units. In real life, the Gatwick Express service has actually been suspended since March 2020, while some of the 387s have been transferred to Great Northern. Bizarrely, 6 of them are on hire to Great Western Railway, who are apparently still having problems with the bogies on their Hitachi Class 800 and 802 units. The 387-2s are dual voltage units, although they only run on third rail for the London to Brighton service. It's quite interesting seeing the differing cab interiors of the 3 units we've looked at today. In the case of the 387, it certainly feels more modern and up to date than the 375 and 377.
Please note that services are subject to delay because of the failure of line-side equipment near Norwood Junction. Every effort is being made to restore.
Despite being trains for an airport service, the Gatwick Express Class 387s don't really have any large luggage compartments. I don't know why the scrolling screen says Southern service when this is clearly not a Southern train.
Please do not leave vehicles unattended at the drop-off point. Vehicles left unattended may be clamped or removed without warning.
Well, that completes our detailed look at each of the 3 Electrostar classes we have in TSW. To finish off the video, let's watch some more 377s and 387s going about their business here in Brighton and further up the line at Hassocks. And just for the heck of it, I decided to line up all 3 of these Electrostar classes at Gillingham Station as a somewhat fitting way to end the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.